Okay, hi everybody. Everyone ready? So I thought the summation by Mr. Sekulow, the president's lawyer, showed how weak their case was. He said we don't have eyewitness accounts, that all we have is a newspaper article. Well, Mr. Sekulow, President Trump, we want to get witnesses. You can bring Bolton right into this chamber and he can swear under oath and be cross-examined by you. He also kept saying this was a policy choice, and he points to the letter of July 25th. 3 words never come out of his mouth that were in that letter: Hunter, Biden, CrowdStrike. So they just cannot address the issues. Their whole argument is diversion. If you don't believe the newspaper report, call the witnesses. If you don't believe the people around who said what Trump did was wrong and they had heard it secondhand, or Sondland heard it firsthand, call Mulvaney, call Bolton, call Blair, call Duffy. So the bottom line is very simple. We want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's what witnesses and documents mean. The president's lawyers have spent 3 days avoiding the truth, pointing fingers here, there, and everywhere. Even one of them gave a political speech on the floor. It was like a campaign rally, because they don't want the facts. They don't want the truth. They're afraid of them. I think their case has been extremely weak on one of the most serious things you can accuse a president of doing, which is organizing foreign interference in American elections, threatening a country, you'll cut off your aid unless you interfere in our election. When I was in high school, I read in my textbook that one of the things the founding fathers feared most was foreign interference in elections, and this was back in the 60s. I said, what are they talking about? That doesn't happen. Well, once again, the founding fathers were a lot smarter than all of us. That's just what they worried about. That's just what Trump was doing. And let me make another point. If he's allowed to completely stonewall, to do absolute obstruction on everything, and not be held accountable, he'll do it again and again, and future presidents will do it again and again, and this grand experiment we call democracy will have been fatally, fatally eroded. Because when Americans lose faith that elections are fair, when Americans lose faith that it's Americans determining who elects the president rather than a foreign power, we got trouble. So pressure, one at a time.
What do you think? Bottom line, sir, do you believe that we're going to get witnesses?
Look, I hope that we have just 4 Republicans, all we need is 4, who rise to the occasion and say we need to find out the truth. And I would remind my Republican friends, these witnesses we've asked for are not Democrats, they're not anti-Trump people, they're his own appointees. We don't know if what they say will be exculpatory or further incriminating, but let the chips fall where they may. Get the truth.
Why not?
Would you consider a witness exchange program?
No, we want these 4 witnesses and these 4 sets of documents because we want a fair trial and a true trial where the facts come out. They can call who they want. Ask yourselves, why are they talking about a trade? They could call Hunter Biden if they had 51 votes for him today. They don't. I don't believe they have the votes because a good number of Republicans know 2 things: that Hunter Biden is a diversion and makes the trial into a circus like a couple of the president's lawyers did yesterday, and second, it confirms the fact that President Trump is obsessed with Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. So in other words, he's willing to risk American security and risk elections to go after Biden. Now he's willing to despoil one of the most sacred things the Senate can do, a trial on impeachment, because he's so focused on Hunter Biden, and that's where you got those 2 way out of left field lawyers yesterday.
Why not support a subpoena? Why not support a subpoena for the classified version of the manuscript, so at least senators
That is
can see it.
first of all, no. The classified version of the manuscripts, this is a manuscript. It's going to be public. What the heck are they hiding? You don't need it in classified, and it's not good enough. There is no substitute for a witness speaking under oath to the senators. So a classified version of the transcript is just another excuse to hide things. They are afraid of the truth.
Senator Schumer, how are Democrats preparing for the next 2 days for questioning, and what questions do you want to ask?
Okay, what we're doing is that we have lots of questions. And I am not censuring anybody. Each member will ask his or her own questions as they see fit. What we are doing is sort of organizing things. In other words, we don't want the same question 10 times. And second, we want them in some degree of order. I am sure that a good number of the questions will give the House managers time to rebut all the holes in the president's lawyers' arguments, which they didn't have in the course of the trial. I'll take one more question.
Senator, I was hoping you could comment on the legal arguments made by the White House team that even if everything Ambassador Bolton was reported saying is true, that President Trump could not be removed from office,
Okay.
and quid pro quos are acceptable.
Yeah.
What would the ramifications be?
They talk about quid pro quo, they talk about policy choice. They don't talk about interfering in elections. That is one of the most serious things that a president can be charged with. It gets to the whole basis, core, root of America. And when you try to interfere with that and get a foreign power to interfere with that, you are risk despoiling our democracy. I could not think of a more serious charge than that, nor one that was the founding fathers were more fearful of than that. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.